Hello everyone, this is Llama, and welcome back to part 3 of my cast on CoC Inquisitor journey. Before we dive in, I just cannot express to you all how blessed I am feeling to receive the response I did in my first 2 parts of this series. And I cannot wait to continue making content for you all. Picking up where we left off last time, I said the main plan for part 3 is to farm currency and craft some cool items. The main goals of this video are to craft an Influence CDR belt, elevated CDR boots, and a cool Influence Vermilion ring. And of course, to do any of that, we need to farm a lot of currency. I hope you are ready to see loot drops, as we were very fortunate in the gifts the Strongbox has blessed us with. We also will run a bit of Harvest and a bit of Harbinger later in the video. This is because I got quite bored of boxes after a while. But without further ado, let's get those divines. Same strategy as part 2. Jungle Valley strong boxes with underground sea scried onto it. However, I did take a pit stop to my favorite map, the Vol Temple. I love these maps because you never know what you may get out of them. Just like strong boxes. Wow, that one kind of just stopped me in my tracks. We then get quite an interesting drop from a Vol vessel. A max energy shield ivory tower. This is actually an upgrade for our build that we can definitely squeeze in. And another raw divine. We have probably made more currency in this one map than my whole first week on League Start. Anyways, after that I decided to invest a bit into Harvest. I have never really done Harvest as a farming strat before. And to be honest, it is quite fun to run crop rotation, and you can make some pretty solid currency. Especially with how expensive yellow juice can get as the league continues on. These are just random 6 mod Jungle Valley maps with at least 80% quant. Nothing special at all about them, yet I am averaging around 2,000 yellow juice per crop rotation. If I didn't have other goals with my currency, I definitely would have explored higher investment Harvest, running this on T17 maps with the imbued Harvest option using the Scarab of Awakening. We make a quick pit stop here to see the fruits of our labor. You already know what I have to add after that. Sorry, I can't help it. I love the sound too much. I did end up trying 2 T17 maps, but honestly, without investing in the imbued crafting option, it's probably not worth the additional cost. Plus, you might have Maven follow you around the whole time, and honestly, she's kind of creeping me out. Anyways, let's take out that pin-up anxiety on Oshabi. Oh cool, a forbidden shako. And it actually seems like it may not be bricked. While building out an atlas to level up, I had someone reach out to buy my helmet from part 1. They seemed very excited that we were matching. This was probably the top moment of this whole series for me. It's almost like they knew I was recording. I promise they weren't a paid actor. And Diamond, if you somehow see this video, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thanks for the 10 chaos. I wasted it rolling a ring later that day. Hold on before we go any further. I think it is my duty now to show you anytime I drop a Valdo box. You're welcome. I wanted to include some footage on how the build was doing while trying to farm some XP. Take note of how fast my arc skill is casting. All the upgrades we make later in this video make this cast at least 2 extra times per second. I also wanted to mention that I am very thankful for all the build suggestions I received on both parts of this series so far. Some of you may notice your suggestions getting implemented in this video. Jumping right back into things, we were able to sell the Watcher's Eye from the last video. Let's hear it. And then I waste what I am pretty sure was over a divine to get the right socket colors on the ivory tower we dropped earlier. I felt like I had to use it. It was destiny. Unfortunately, destiny shot me in the foot. But luckily, after swapping back to boxes, our luck has seemed to turn around, and we ended up getting a nice compilation of noteworthy drops. I would like to say that I am planning on releasing a video after this breaking down the build, and I plan on trying out your build and spell suggestions in that video. If there is anything you would like me to try, I would love to hear it in the comments. Man, not sure if it's an attention span issue, or the need of immediate satisfaction, or if it's actually true, but nothing hits like strong boxes do this league. Okay, I need to adjust my filter. Hearing an off-screen tink and then seeing Eldritch Annulment is just comical. Oh look, a Wildwood. I have heard that they buffed this encounter, so let's check it out. We ended up getting roughly 8k juice. Not bad. This led to 3 raw divines, 2 dropped from rare beyond monsters. Still not like it was an affliction, but definitely better than it was. After a bit more farming, we finally make our first crafting pit stop. We are looking to craft a double influenced CDR Stygian Vise. I started off by purchasing 2 Ilval 85 plus Hunter Influence belts. I immediately flipped one to Shaper Influence using Harvest Juice, which I then just reforged until I hit T1 cooldown recovery on the Shaper belt, and T1% attributes on the Hunter belt. God damn it, I missed the Awakener's orb. Well, I purposefully left an NVIDIA overlay, so you can see I really did Awakeners this. Not that the craft is anything special that you wouldn't believe me, but it gets the job done. This means I can now get a new jewel, and I Exalt Slam into T1 chance to shock. Actually decent RNG for once. Now back to farming more currency to continue with the crafts. I've never had Fortunate's Tink before. Okay, I don't know what happened, but I had a little bit of a gamble arc. We missed on the ephemeral edge, but we hit a pretty crazy Torrents Reclamation. But looking at PoE Ninja, there are only like 48 people using this belt, so not sure how smart of a gamba that was. Thankfully for both my sanity and the timeline of getting this video out. That is where the gambling ended. And holy shit, someone is actually buying it. I knew it. And then we dropped 2 Fracturing Orbs. A pretty nice upswing in terms of currency. And I am proud to tell you here, I did not gamble these either. But instead I started our next craft. These are pretty standard. I started by buying some Shaper boots that had CDR, then slamming them with an Orb of Dominance. And bam, we hit it. Elevated CD are on our Shaper boots. Good start. But now we need to do the same thing for some Redeemer boots. But first, we reforge using cold or physical until we have 2 influence mods, one being T1 Onslaught. Then we do the same thing, hit it with an Orb of Dominance. Damn, -5 divines, back to square one. So we buy another and hit it with an orb so fast that my thoughts cannot influence the result of the craft. See, I knew that would work. No thinking is becoming a common trend here for better or for worse. I then buy an Awakener's orb, not using Faustus because he was trying to scam me out of an extra 60 chaos. And look at how beautiful. Elevated Onslaught and cooldown boots. Now we can hit it with suffixes cannot be changed, and take it over to the Horticrafting bench. Here we can reforge critical and be guaranteed to hit elusive on critical strike. Perfect. Now we just need to get a Veiled Orb to get our movement speed, and the craft is done. What the hell? Veiled Orbs are 15 divines? I am running the wrong farming strats wholly. I guess we have to jump back into the Jungle Valley. I am sorry. I am still mad about the price of Veiled Orbs. It is not fair to us lowly Strongbox farmers. The only betrayal we know is Ice Nova or DD one-shotting us while looting too greedily. Anyways, I decided to test my arc spell against Firestorm of Pelting. Shout out Hubcap12 for the suggestion. It feels much better for single target. I think arc is probably better for mapping though due to clear. But it was definitely a lot FO fun. And I got a tink, so of course I wanted to run it again. And wow, yeah, having 12 Firestorms hitting Eater at the same time is pretty damn good. Next we went to purchase that stupid Veiled Orb. This fellow was kind enough to let me purchase at the great low rate of only 14 divines. So we hit the boots with suffixes cannot be changed and Veiled Orb. And yeah, we got really unlucky. We missed all 3 movement speed boots veils. I was so disheveled I forgot to record. So here we are bench crafting movement speed like this is Act 4. Sadly again another mid-craft. but still worth in the ballpark of the currency I put into it at least. But I cannot complain, because they still do what I needed them to do. Give me attack speed, and more importantly cooldown recovery. Now I can spend one more Divine on Awaken cast on crit. Altogether between this, the boots, and the belt, I have 51% cooldown recovery rate, which is the next big breakpoint for cast per second. Now take a look at how fast I am casting Arc. These upgrades are what give me upwards of an extra 2 spell cast per second, which as you can imagine is quite a lot of damage. But enough yapping, more mapping. I decided to swap up maps for a change of scenery, buying a full inventory of city square maps. This is the map of choice for my new farming strat, as alluded to in the beginning of the video. Harbinger. So I think you can guess what's coming next. Some fracturing shard clips, of course. Now to that ring I was talking about earlier as well. I bought a Crusader-influenced Vermilion ring. The goal here is to hit T1 maximum energy shield and a T1 attribute. We are then going to hit it with another Veiled Orb. The goal there would be to get Endurance Charge on kill to greatly improve our physical reduction. Nice! We hit T1 strength, and I was so close to re-rolling this as well. For reference, Craft of Exile puts this at a 1 in 1600 roll. So we fork over another 16 divines for a damn Veiled Orb. And we immediately run over to our crafting bench. To craft, prefixes cannot be changed to protect the influence mod. But remember when I said there was a trend of not thinking? It comes back here. I forgot to fill my prefixes, worsening my odds. And while I removed the meta mod, I added a veiled prefix, which means we got a shitty health mod from June, and I forgot to record it again. So out of spite to this game, I anoint Endurance Charge on kill anyways. I'm not letting RNG decide my build anymore. And then we change our tree a bit to get up to 4 Endurance Charges. This has pretty much doubled our effective hit pool. Damn, I think these strong boxes almost just crashed my PC. But anyways, that about sums up the crafting I had scheduled for this episode. And to be honest, I think it is time to move on to the next series. Cast on Crit Inquisitor Man has been a blast, but I feel like a lot of the meaningful upgrades for me to make besides levels will be upwards of 20 divines each. I'd rather shift focus to working on the next build I have planned for you all, rather than min-maxing this one. I cannot wait to share it with you. It should be a lot of fun. Also stay tuned for the follow-up to this series where I'll go more in depth on breaking down this build and how you can get to this point yourselves. We made some pretty solid upgrades here, and I would for sure revisit this build again in the future. And I promise you, I'm not this scuffed of a crafter. The crafts on my main character say otherwise. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. And I will see you in the next one. Llama, out.